are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
No wonder heaven was silent for half an hour.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
The scriptures say, "Come as a child for understanding." It's simplicity. So Donald Trump, the 45th and 47th president, the king that commands him is Apollyon intelligence, or whom the world refers to as artificial intelligence. His presidency is Revelation 9 and 11. Look at 45th. 4 and 5 equals 9. Look at 47th. 4 and 7 equal 11. That's 9:11. Revelation 9:11, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. Apollyon is defined as another name for Satan. This is whom all countries of government obey. Russia or China cannot join this Iranian war until AI commands them to do so.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
Oh my God!
It took nearly 4.5 years to build the World Trade Center South Tower. But at 9:59 a.m. on September 11th, 2001,
Trumpet Apollyon the Destroyer was released.
Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. The victims were in airplanes or in their offices, secretaries, businessmen and women, military and federal workers, moms and dads, friends and neighbors. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil.
No wonder heaven was silent for half an hour.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe! Woe! Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound.
The Bible speaks of a great falling away, a rejection of the truth, an apostasy, a rebellion, an abandonment of the truth. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. This passage warns us that in the end times, there will be a wholesale rejection of God's revelation and a further, quote, falling away of an already fallen world. It describes a rebellion, an abandonment of the truth, and it is something that should concern us deeply. So what is this great falling away, and why should we be aware of it? Put simply, it is a turning away from God and a rejection of His truth. It is a rejection of the gospel and all that it stands for, and it is a refusal to submit to the authority of Christ. It is a rejection of the very foundation of our faith.
Chapter 9. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment is as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. And on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. They had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron. The sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. They had tails like unto scorpions. There were stings in their tails. Their power was to hurt men 5 months.
Every nation,
and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law.
By 1924, Crowley was living in poverty in France. An old friend and famous literary figure and occultist, Frank Harris, kindly took him under his roof. Frank Harris lived with a woman by the name of Nellie O'Hara. If what has been written in later years can be believed, Nellie had a friend in America, Pauline Pierce, who was married to Marvin Pierce, head of the McCall Corporation. In early 1924, Pauline traveled to France to stay with her friend. Thus it was that 4 individuals came together: Frank Harris, Nellie O'Hara, Pauline Pierce, and Aleister Crowley. According to Crowley's diaries, during this period in Paris, Crowley underwent the supreme ordeal, linked with his realization of the grade of Ipsissimus. According to a description of the rite, on the appointed day, the candidate is attended by 1 or more chosen and experienced attendants whose duty is A, to exhaust him sexually by every known means, B, to rouse him sexually by every known means. Every device and artifice of the courtesan is to be employed, and every stimulant known to the physician. If Crowley did go through this ordeal in 1924, then it is highly likely, based on his previous experiences, that his closest associates of that time, including Nellie and Pauline, performed as his magical assistants. Pauline Pierce returned to America in early October of 1924. 8 months later, On June the 8th, 1925, she gave birth to a girl named Barbara. Barbara Pierce married George H.W. Bush, who eventually became the 41st President of the United States. And they had a son, George W. Bush, the 43rd President of the United States. Could the wickedest man in the world, Aleister Crowley, be George W. Bush's grandfather? In 1925, Crowley received a letter from Theodore Roos of the OTO in Germany. A vacancy had become available for international head of the OTO. They had chosen Baphomet.
To the British, and indeed the Americans, I may have been a flesh-eating devil, but the Germans obviously still appreciated the lore of Thelema. I was still Baphomet, an Ipsissimus, the great beast, 666.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
This is what it's like on the receiving end. Last night, a square mile in central Baghdad seemed like hell on earth.
Years before becoming the President of the United States, George H.W. Bush served as the 11th Director of Central Intelligence, DC-1. Many believe leading the Charlie Igloo Alpha would mark an end to his political career. Instead, Bush became the only U.S. president to have previously held the position of DCI, which gave him a unique perspective on both providing and receiving intelligence.
We're joined now by Middle East analyst Robin Wright. She's in from Washington. Robin, this is an event that the Iranians still talk about 60 years later with surprising frequency.
It was 1953. Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh, announced his plan to nationalize Iran's oil industry, freeing it from British control. This decision made him an enemy of Western powers. At the time, all of Iran's oil fields were controlled by the British-owned Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, which later became British Petroleum or simply BP. The British government was furious about the nationalization, while the United States grew fearful that if Mossadegh succeeded, Western control over Middle Eastern oil would be seriously threatened.
The United States of America will use all our resources to conquer this enemy. We will rally the world. We will be patient, we'll be focused, and we will be steadfast in our determination. This battle will take time and resolve, but make no mistake about it, we will win.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind, peace and...
November 1979. Fanatical supporters of Iran's new leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini, storm the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and take everyone they find there hostage.
In the fall of 1979, protesters broke into the American embassy in Iran, took dozens of people hostage, and kept them there for a long, long time. This was the Iran hostage crisis, an episode that changed the course of American history. Let's take a step back. This hostage crisis didn't come out of nowhere. It was the culmination of several decades of bad blood between the United States and Iran. In 1953, the U.S. helped topple Iran's elected prime minister, replacing him with Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, also known as simply the Shah. The Shah was friendly to the U.S. interests, particularly when it came to oil. The Shah was about as popular in Iran as ants at a picnic. He was a brutal dictator, and his infamous secret police, the Savak, terrorized, tortured, and killed people. Opposition to the Shah grew and grew. In January of 1979, he and his family left Iran on vacation, never to return. By the spring of that year, a religious leader, the Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, took power. This is the Iranian Revolution.
We're in Iraq in 1979. The newly appointed president has called his fellow party members to a meeting in a local theatre hall in Baghdad. His name is Saddam Hussein. He's only been president for a little under a week. It's July, and the temperature outside is pushing 40 degrees Celsius. The hall is hot, blisteringly hot. As Saddam takes the stage, he takes his time, shuffles a few papers, looks at his notes. Shortly before their newly appointed president arrived, one of his men appeared on stage. A terrible plot against the president and against Iraq has been uncovered, he informed the crowd. A group of high-ranking party members has conspired to remove Saddam Hussein from power. And then he revealed, all the guilty parties are in this room, right now.
13 years before becoming the President of the United States, George H.W. Bush served as the 11th Director of Central Intelligence, DC-1.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind, peace and security.
The first time the United States fought Iraq was in 1991, and that mission or war was given the code name Operation Desert Storm. It is also known as the infamous Gulf War. You know the war is serious when it comes with two code names that strike fear and curiosity simultaneously. It is also one of the shortest wars in history, lasting only 43 days.
Iraq is oil-rich, for their country is plagued by poverty. After decades of war, drought and desertification adding more to the disaster, the fact is that the river Usse watered the biblical Garden of Eden is found to be slowly drying up. Drought in the Euphrates River has been a phenomenon with a lot of religious backing. However, when the Bible says particular things will happen, it doesn't tell if it's due to nature or because of man's politics or industry. They happened. One of Western Asia's most essential and longest rivers is the Euphrates. It originates in Turkey and travels through the southeast mountains and southern foothills of the area before flowing into Syria and Iraq and a variety of vegetation, before emptying into the Persian Gulf.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
Okay, today we're going to do Revelation 16, 13 through 16, 16, 13. And I saw three unclean spirits look like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. Confessions, staying clean, don't get caught off guard. 16. And he gathered them together into a place called, in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon. Okay, let's start over, and we'll go step by step. And I saw 3 unclean spirits, so we have 3 individuals here, spirits. Spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. The dragon is China. George H.W. Bush, after World War II, in the early 50s, he was married a few years to Barbara Bush. They moved to China. Throughout the 50s into the mid-60s, up until 1964 or 4 to 5, he lived solely in China. His youngest child was born in China, George and Barbara Bush's youngest son. He came back and got into politics and CIA and all of that. He was there in China as Nixon went off the gold standard in 1971. All of a sudden, Watergate broke out. A big lie, what you call today a false flag, to cover in the news and hide and cause chaos because the dollar was now dead, not backed by gold. In the meantime, running in the background, this evil spirit that looked like a frog that could spit out of the mouth of the dragon, George H.W. Bush. This is the senior one. He was at that time in China, 70, 71, 72, cutting the deals to send Alcoa Aluminum, U.S. Steel, and manufacturers like Ford and everybody else into China, so China can make money and back our dollar by buying our bonds and debt. He also did the same thing with Russia, but that's not relevant here. He spit out of the mouth of the dragon. He was really close when he died, George H.W. Bush. They made a big stink in China over him. He's a great idol, a movie star type, a god. He started the Gulf War. He was the one who first came out and said the New World Order.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be,
we will finally complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately.
When we are successful, and we will be.
I remember that specifically, watched it. And I knew what I was looking at when I seen it. And I saw 3 unclean spirits that looked like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, George H.W. Bush, and out of the mouth of the beast. The beast is the beast computer. The beast computer, social media. And I saw 3 unclean spirits look like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast. This is Barack Obama. Barack Obama was raised in Hawaii. His mother was head of the Bank of Hawaii. Moreover, his father, after they left and split as a couple, went back to Harvard University, finished his degree, and went back to Africa and became the equal of what you call the United States, Department of the Treasury. The beast, the banking and financial system. And out of the mouth of the false prophet, Donald J. Trump. The book he wrote, The Art of the Deal, started it. Then he went on to The Apprentice on TV. The television, ladies and gentlemen, is a false prophet. This is the tool that they used to do what they needed to do.
This is the construct. It's our loading program. We can load anything from clothing to equipment, weapons, training simulations, anything we need.
And I saw three unclean spirits look like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. The television. Donald Trump. George H.W. Bush started the war in the Middle East, Operation Desert Storm. You can actually count in George Bush Jr. with him as one entity. They even look like twins. The fact is they both did the same thing, and they both was backed by China. And when his dad died, George Bush Jr. went to China. He was honored as a great man, and as they honored his father and his death. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, weapons of mass destruction, destroying everything, all kinds of weapons that are so precise. For they are spirits of devils working miracles, and which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole earth, the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. Blessed is he that hears these things. Because behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, staying clean, confessing your sins from childhood up, and even by being a money changer on here, by buying and selling in the name of God, by doing many things that everybody does, including myself. None of us are innocent. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments clean. Anybody we've attacked or done wrong, making things right. And as leaders, it's our responsibility to do our testimonies, and I have and many others, to show the others how to do it. That's what leaders do. It's what you call leading, being in the front, the first. Lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into the place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. So these three are the three evil spirits that look like frogs that were spit out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. When I said out of the mouth of the beast, and I said the internet at first, and then went on to say the banking system, what that is and the fact is why I said that is the fact is this. Obama was the first one to use social media to campaign and win the election. So he used the beast computer. But he was spit out by the beast banking system, his mother and his dad, both big-time financiers. That's it. Thank you all.
Daniel 11:36. The king will do according to his will. He will exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and will speak marvelous things against the God of gods. He will prosper until the indignation is accomplished, for that which is determined will be done.
Okay, so if you look over to your right, it reads the book of Daniel. The time of indignation of the lawless one is happening now. The meaning of indignation is anger or annoyance, provoked by what is perceived to be unfair treatment. Remember when you read in Daniel when it speaks of the man in linen, these times are sealed up until the end. And that's only because the lawless one is going to reveal himself. So it says causing division and fight for justice. That's the meaning of indignation. The lawless one or king shall rise for the many who listen to him. That's not the one world antichrist. Where it reads in the New Testament, The lawless one is speaking of the end time will be marked by the lawless one being revealed. So Daniel breaks down and describes in detail every detail, and Trump is it. And trade war with strong hold of China is all in there. He shall reign until the time of indignation is complete. So it unfolds in the final phase to rise now. This day we shall witness. All nations this hour are in riots and demonstrations everywhere. Some for inside reasons, other was for the Trump issue. The 10 horns and rule together as dictators has now arrived and walking up the walk to every house.
Okay, everybody, let's go. This is Daniel 11, 37 to 39. This is titled here in this King James Version, The King Who Exalts Himself. Daniel 11:37. He will show no regard for the gods of his fathers. This is Donald Trump. All the gods that they honor, all those statues, the Hall of Statues in the Capitol building, which is the sun god temple, Solomon's temple. He will show no regard for the gods of his fathers. He doesn't. Nor the ones desired by women, nor for any other god, because he will magnify himself above them all. And he does. 38. And in their place, he will honor a god of fortresses. In their place. A fortress is a walled fortress. China. The internet. The AI, invisible, omnipresent God now ruling over China and ruling over the whole world, telling all these leaders what to do and when to do it and how to do it. Again, Daniel 11:37 to 38 here. The king will exalt himself. He will show no regard for the gods of his fathers, nor for the one desired by women, nor for any other god, because he will magnify himself above them all. 38. And in their place, he will honor a god of fortresses. China's AI god, it is controlling all the people, tracking everything, behavioral systems. If you don't take part with your biodigital metric ID that they have there, you're out of the system. This is the mark of the beast, people. A god his fathers did not know, with gold, silver, and precious stones and riches. Stablecoin. And all the things he's doing with tariffs. He's giving all control of everything into the Stargate. Using Elon Musk, Starlink, the angel with the key to the pit, to tie in the CERN to the outer atmosphere with Starlink and bringing in the Stargate. As it is written, Satan will set himself in the land of the north, or the place of the north. That's Washington, people. The king of the north. The god of fortresses is the king of the south, Xi Jinping. The lawless one and the 666 man. When America goes down and the law is taken away, all the world will go into BRICS. And the 666 man will then be running the world by biometrics. And in the place he will honor a god of fortresses, a god his fathers did not know, with gold and silver and precious stones and riches. He will attack the strongest fortresses, China and Russia, with the help of a foreign god, AI, playing the trade game, is getting rid of the IRS and having the External Revenue Service, all this stuff. He's giving all this power, and he's going to give it the power of life. When you mingle your DNA and your biometrics, along with your face and your thumb and your fingers, the mark of the beast, in and become transhumans. He will attack the strongest fortresses with the help of a foreign god, and will greatly honor those who acknowledge him. making them rulers over many and distributing the land for a price. Let's go through that again. 39, he will attack the strongest fortresses, Russia and China, and everybody else with BRICS, with the trade, with the help of a foreign god, Stargate, and will greatly honor those who acknowledge them. You see how he lets everybody talk? Elon Musk gets to talk. Ellison gets to talk. He lifts them up and puts them right in front of him. He honors them, gives them honor, making them rulers over many and distributing the land for a price. End of story. There's another clear-cut prophecy down. Point of this one is Revelations 12 and 13. There are two seven-headed beasts. One for the global north, Trump, and one for the global south, representing China and his tent. The seven-headed beast up here is 7 continents with 10 horns with crowns. These are your G10 is what you call them. Down in Asia, China, that one is a dragon, and it has 7 heads and 10 horns. And Revelations in 12 and 13 actually kind of go simultaneously together. I'm going to read 13 first. I did one the other day, but I think we'll replace it with this one, Dexter. And I stood upon the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 7 continents. And that's also 7 fallen angels against the 7 stars of the 7 churches who are over these continents. And the horns are the countries on those continents that he raised up that have crowns now. One for the G10 for the north in economics and trade, and one for the global south in economics and trade. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns. This is like England, Canada. These guys have power, like so they say. You know, the strongest of the G10. And upon his head the names of blasphemy. All your pride, your slogans in all your countries, and more important, all the stars, the 5-pointed Baphomet stars of the fallen ones of Satan. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. This one. This is Iran. And feet were like a bear. You screw with Iran, Russia comes running. And his mouth was that of a lion. England is a lion because they feed the leopard, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now let's go over here to Revelations. Give me 1 second. Now we got Revelations 12. Now watch this. I'm going to explain what these are, and people are going to dispute it. But as I go through these prophecies over the next weeks and months coming ahead, and year or two, guiding you through the Great Tribulation according to the Bible, not me. Father is guiding you through. And there appeared, Revelations 12, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed in the sun and the moon under her feet. That's the light and the truth and the lies behind us. We are the bride. And upon her head, a crown of 12 stars, the 12 tribes of Israel. And she, being with child, cried, travailing, us, those real believers. We're ready to bring forth. We're ready for the kingdom. And it's only a remnant. It's only a remnant. You must follow his commands, his laws, statutes, and commands. He did not do away with the law, but came to fulfill the law. If you follow Christ, you fulfill the entire law. That's what he did. Travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon. Watch this. Everybody says this is Satan. Having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. This beast is here. This is here. There's 7 heads for the 7 fallen angels over 7 continents, and there are 10. This is the BRICS in 12. Revelation 13 is your global north with Trump, and Revelation 12 is your global south. Okay, let's go through this again slowly. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head, the G10. The 10 permanent members of BRICS. I got a little overexcited here. The other one, this is the dragon body. The other one with the leopard body, bear's feet, lion's mouth. And Daniel, you'll also see that this has eagle's wings. This is the global north. All these precepts will come about. Nobody will listen to me for 3 hours if you do your churches, so I got it done in 10 minutes. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman right now, which was ready to be delivered, to devour her child as soon as it was born. So the dragon China, they're speaking right now. I got videos on my wall. He, since 2011 or 12, has had his picture put in every Christian church, synagogue, temple, you name it. They're also in South Africa. They're also in India, his pictures, okay, and many other BRICS countries of the 10 permanent members. He is the center of worship. He's actually in their temples and their Christian churches. Watch the videos. They took away tons of news clips there was for years about how he was rewriting the Bible, where after they stoned the woman, after they wanted to stone that woman, and he said, who's without sin? In their Bible, I got this on my videos here, showing this down there, what they've been doing. Who's without sin, let them throw the first stone, and they did. In their Bible that he rewrote, or that they rewrote, says after they left, he stoned her to death and said, I too am a sinner. Blasphemies, horrible things. They changed the Bible. So that's where we are with him. And she was brought forth, and she brought forth a man-child who would rule the nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. This is Christ. We're ready for him. Been building over the years. It's a remnant in the Bible. It's not 1 billion people. It's not even 100 million people. It's a remnant, the elect. And it's written in Enoch, the elect, and everybody's not the elect. And I'm going to go through again and show you. We're going to take the mark of the beast and exactly what it is. And it's not a chip. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God. This is why God's people are going into the wilderness, that they should feed her there 1,000 203 score days, 3.5 years. Now let's go over to 13 again. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns again. And upon his horns 10 crowns, just like the other one. The north and the south battling. Now Daniel makes sense to you. And upon his head the name of blasphemy. Same thing. These stars and these, the pride and the ego and everything that everybody has. It's sickening. You guys don't have a God, your God's unto yourselves. And the beast, which I saw, was like unto a leopard, Iran. The feet were like that of a bear, Russia. And his mouth was the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power. China. You'll see it in the documentary that this is going and that's coming out. Eyes wide open. No more lies. That the dragon, China, in 1972, it began when they went up to gold standard. George H.W. Bush was in China, envoy for the UN. Before he became the CIA head in 1976, he became vice president later, coming out of the CIA in the White House. George H.W. Bush took care of all of the deals to send Alcoa Aluminum, U.S. Steel, all your industries to China so they could make money and buy our bonds because our dollar was worthless and wasn't backed by gold. And the largest country in the world, which is almost 3 billion people, almost a third of the world's population is there. That dragon in 12, when you go into that and read it, and this one too, they're both going after the saints. Down there, I just told you what they were doing. Trump is now starting with the poor, and he's going to make others poor. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. Trump. And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast, Trump, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, because all the countries know and their leaders know who made America great before, if it ever was, and who gave it the money. They are the biggest debt holder and hold more bonds than anybody else. In fact, they hold more bonds than all the other countries put together. And they worship the dragon, China, which gave power unto the beast. They're all going to BRICS now, 1 by 1 or 20 by 20. They're flooding in. And the 10 permanent members are there, and they got their crowns. The 10 permanent members of the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperative Development. That's what you're called in the north here. And then you got OPEC, okay? But Iran was the basis of the foundation of this beast when it started with the oil deals, and the beast was put together. Now these two beasts are ripping each other apart. The dragon is doing fine. This one's falling apart. What do I mean by falling apart? Well, Iran and the lion's mouth, England, and Russia, the bear's feet, England and all of these, they're dividing. Iran joined BRICS. This dragon here is being ripped apart to pieces. And they worship the beast, saying, who is unto the beast, like unto the beast. They're talking about the Trump thing. Let me back up so you can make sure. And they worship the dragon, which gave power to the beast, the one that had the deadly wound. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Well, he's pushing everybody around right now. You watch. It's coming up in Daniel. I'm going to be reading that one. You're going to lose people in America. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, Trump. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. So he's only got 3.5 years from his inauguration. Now in Daniel, you can see where he was in office twice with a space in between. It's in there, okay? But nobody listens to me years ago, whatever. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. So he's done. He's not going to make it through. But it's also written in precepts, he's going to be consumed by the breath of the Lord when he returns. destroyed. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God. I'm the best, I'm the better. He's God himself, and blasphemed his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints of the poor. There's nobody more sincere crying out to the Most High God than when you're freezing your ass up on the street. I know all about that. The prisoners. Christ was clear who they were. When you feed the poor, when you visit the prisoners, you visited me, as it is written. And there's a lot more precepts. So we see with Xi Jinping and that dragon with the 7 heads and 10 horns with crowns is doing to the Christians there and arresting them. I got it on the channel here in videos. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. This is the trade war. Your World War III, people, is a trade war. The final battle isn't to the end. There's no world war actually in there. You'll see in Daniel coming up, what's already out, where they're going back and forth. Russia, Ukraine, Russia, United States. The United States don't win anything in these wars. They lose. And then U.S. joins with China to go after Russia. It's a mess. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. He's putting right now the poor on the streets and FEMA camps. That's where they get the space. Remember those? Nobody talks about them anymore. That's where they're going to get their help. And those getting caught drunk driving or with a buzz coming out of a bar or anything else, when the police see so fit, you will not be arrested criminally. You will be arrested civilly. Therefore, you're not under the Constitution entitled to an attorney, nor are you entitled to a trial. It's a civil commitment. So you who are middle class, who just don't think that this is just about the poor, you can be taken to walking out of your fancy restaurant after a few drinks, labeled an alcoholic, and you can't say I'm not guilty. You're guilty, and you're going civilly, and you're going to get treated. Why are they doing this? Because we're going to see here in a minute that they are going to process this first round through, starting with the poorest or the God's people first, the saints, and on YouTube overcoming us, because I've had 20 YouTube channels and just as many or more Facebook pages. I'm totally off social media. I haven't had a phone in 5 years. I get this junky little laptop coming to you now. But anyway, let's go. And let me see. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life, that was slain from the foundations of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity, the United States, bringing everybody into our slave system, slaving for our dollar. Those who have been taken, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword, the United States, with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience of the saint, knowing justice is coming. When I just said that, you'll also remember, I'm going to just touch base, but we'll get to that another time. There's the leopard and bear and all that's in Daniel, but there's a vicious beast with iron teeth that's going out conquering. That's the United States. You'll see in the New Testament it is written that where the eagle is, there the carcasses are. There are the carcasses, the dead bodies, the eagle. And everybody's been wondering for years and saying, the United States isn't in the Bible. It's all over the place. It's the sick one. It's the whole world sick. But you're to lead evil. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb. Taiwan and Hong Kong. It's China. And he spake, it looked like a lamb and spake like a dragon. He's the peacemaker. That's why he's the 666, Xi Jinping. Xi and Tarot, he's a god of equity, justice, probity, on the deserving side in law. His name, Xi, alone in meaning means the image of Satan. His name is Xi Jinping in ancient Phoenician Hebrew. An algebraic Greek breakdown is 666. That's who this is. Donald Trump's the lawless one, who speaks highly of himself, goes against the strongholds. Those are walled fortresses. Build a wall. China. There was a wall, and a lot of it's still there. Russia. So when you see them, they're going to their fortresses and precepts. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. Let's go back in this. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. It's China, because he speaks like a dragon. And he, who, China, exercises all the power of the first beast before him. Economics, trade, he's taken over. And causeth the earth and them to dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. He's going to cause you, and he causeth all great and small, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand to their forehead. Digital ID, your face and your thumb for your new stimulus money, for the rent for the poor. And he's going after Social Security, Section 8. He's going to make a whole nother round of poor in 6 months. When this time comes out and they put them in 15-minute cities with new places, they're going to bring in the next round. You're all going down, and the rest of you are going to take it with the digital ID in your right hand to your forehead because you want the stimulus money. That's the end of that story. I love you all. Enjoy the ride. Kings of the North, the South, and the North. Daniel 11:5. And the king of the South, China, shall be strong, and they are. And one of his princes, this is Putin, he shall be strong above him. On the map, China's to the north. And have dominion. His dominion shall be a great dominion. And in the end of years, they shall join themselves together in BRICS. Remember, the bear's feet is also on the leopard's body with the bear's feet and the lion's mouth. So that this beast here that we're on is being ripped apart. The leopard body has joined BRICS and the bear's feet. In America, when it goes, the wings are plucked off the lion and other precepts, and England stands alone. This beast is being ripped to pieces. Sorry to sidetrack. Let's go on. And in the end of years, they shall join themselves together. And they have.
What if I told you China is the biggest winner of the Iran war? Now I know it sounds crazy, and I'm sure many of you are thinking, wait a second, wasn't one of the main reasons for this war to choke off China's access to oil? I mean, for some context, let's just listen to this clip from U.S. Senator Rick Scott.
Blocking the Strait of Hormuz is fine from my standpoint. If no oil ever goes to China again, and their economy is destroyed, that would be a really wonderful day for me.
So the U.S. Senator thinks Trump is going to be able to collapse the Chinese economy by winning a war in Iran. The only problem with this logic is the senator's shallow understanding of how the global economy works and the simple fact of how interconnected the U.S. and Chinese economies are. If China's economy were to collapse, it would simultaneously take down the U.S. economy and cause a global recession. But as we enter the 8th week of the Iran war, 3 things remain clear. Number 1, this war is far from being over. Number 2, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. And number 3, Iran has a lot more leverage than anyone ever expected. But the question we need to answer in today's video is, how is China affected? And will China be in a stronger global position once this war ends? And as this Financial Times article highlights, the Iran war will cement China's superpower status.
Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
We want to talk today about the lies and the bullshit of the Straits of Hormuz. We're going to take a look at a map. You want to put the map up, Shema? Me and Shema were just talking about, leave it right just like that. Put your arrow at the Straits of Hormuz, please. We have the Straits of Hormuz right here. Now, if you come out of the Straits of Hormuz and you go down south around the tip of India to get to China, that's a long distance. But if you look at Iran, which is on the right side of the straits there, or the top, and you go straight across by land, high-speed rail, which the Silk Road of China opened around 2015, was it, when we did that video? When they opened up the high-speed rail, going straight into China. Is it more efficient to go high-speed, less fuel to get it there, by high-speed rail, or is it cheaper to go through the Straits of Hormuz, around the tip of India, and all the way around and spend a month or two at sea to get over to China? It's all a lie, people. We have, flip it a little so we can see Europe. Why? Now you have the Suez Canal also, but look to the north, you have Europe. Why would you go to the Straits of Hormuz south, down around the Horn of Africa to get to Europe, when you could go straight through the Mediterranean Sea, into the Black Sea, out into the Atlantic, and everywhere to get up into Europe through the Mediterranean? Would you go through the Straits of Hormuz, way over there to the right, bottom right, all the way down to South Africa and chow for a couple of months to get to Europe? Or would you put it on a ship in the Mediterranean, or would you just go direct high-speed rail up through Turkey and Greece and into Europe? So the entire European oil shortage is a lie, a flat-out lie. A lie. There's nothing else. There's no other, this isn't conjecture or hypothetical what we're talking here. We're just looking at a map. What makes sense to a second grader like me, an idiot, going to the Straits of Hormuz? The Straits of Hormuz is only to go out and feed the East Africa and South Africa, and maybe even West Africa portions of the South end. But outside of that, it's more efficient to go into the Mediterranean or straight by land into Africa, as you can see, up at the top of the Red Sea. Land travel with a lot less high-speed rail, you can get it there faster. You can haul just as much in 200 or 300 cars on a high-speed rail going into China, into Africa, or into Europe, using a lot less fuel of the engines to get it there, or would you put it in a high-friction freighter going through the water, consuming all kinds of fuel to get it to its destination? Which is the more cheapest way? Which is the fastest way? They're lying. Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, China, all everywhere. Now what we see happening, go to the oil-producing nations, Shema, please. So now we'll talk about the United States. Shema, you want to give us a little information, what you were just looking at, how many barrels we produce and how many we use daily?
Yeah, just a quick search. Let me pull it up on Google and chat.
Yeah, while he's working on that, people, you can look at the United States. We produce 20.1 million barrels. A barrel is about 40 gallons, not a 55 gallon drum, but 40 gallons. But that's a daily production in 2024, 20.15 million. How much do we use in oil per day?
There you go. Right here.
20 to 21 million barrels. So we produce as much as we use, or we use just a little bit more. So let's take a look at Canada. Seeing we have a small deficiency, but our closest neighbor, Canada, what do they produce? They produce 5.9 million barrels a day. And how much do they consume, Shema?
Let me search that one.
And they consume 2.3 to 2.5, so they only use half of their oil. And their excess more than covers our daily usage. So in short, between the United States and Canada, forget Venezuela, which Trump already overtook as a lead dictator and just took over their country. We don't even need Venezuela. Between Canada and the United States, we produce more than both of us use. So we don't actually need oil from anywhere. So now we see that the oil is all a lie. Europe hasn't got a shortage, they're lying to you. So what's the real story? I made a video the other day on the channel, it's up now, and it's titled, Did China Just Win the Iran War? And the reason I made that video was, it shows that right now, in China, we all know, has been buying up oil from everyone. Well, what China's doing now, BRICS, what China, the main, Xi Jinping, he's been buying up all of Russia's oil when they're under sanctions. He's buying up all of Iran's oil over the years because of sanctions. And anybody else who's ever had issues because the United States put sanctions, China buys all their oil. And they're like, China, well, they need tons of oil. No, they don't. China has over 60% of their cars now electric. They're moving away from oil. They need less oil now than they did 5 years ago. They're using more solar and wind and hydrogen especially. They're not talking a lot about it. You'll hear it in a year or so coming up. Hydrogen is going to be the next big thing. We've been working on hydrogen off-grid with ourselves, producing it out of water. I won't get into that. That's a whole other topic. But China is now on the open market selling oil to everybody that we're seeing on the news. They're saying they're struggling. As we go through this, and the United States goes down, and in Revelations, she gets her double portion in Revelations 18 and goes down. Revelations 12 and 13, if you've seen my videos, Revelations 12, the seven-headed beast with 10 horns and all that, seven-headed beast with 10 horns, the dragon, that's China in 12. That's BRICS. Revelations 12 is BRICS. Revelations 13, the leopard body, Iran with the bear's feet, Russia. And the 7 heads and 10 horns, that's NATO, or the OECD. I call it the G10. So you got the G10 and you got BRICS battling each other in Revelations 12 and 13. With the wounded head that was healed, remember the air shot? And China causes everybody, the dragon causes everybody to worship the first beast with the wounded head that was healed, Trump. So what you're watching, people, is an intentional bring down of the United States. And ultimately, you'll see in my videos, if you haven't watched them, they're very clear. You don't see my face in many. You might hear my voice in many. Reading some prophecies, but I keep my face out of things these days. Because a lot of algorithms hate me and a lot of people hate me, so I've taken my face out of videos since I've been banned from all the other media while I'm on Rumble. What you're going to see here is he has 42 months, and that's the stage you're seeing set now with this game of the Straits of Hormuz and this oil shortages that don't exist. The oil that can't get through that doesn't exist, it's getting through if it wants to, if they want it to. But China is, you're going to see, as this goes, when the United States goes down in after 42 months of Donald Trump, which would be in 2028, then the 2027 going into 28, as Trump goes down and is taken out of the way later. Vance comes in, and in prophecy, then the prince of the king of the south, which is China, the prince is Russia, They're going to shut down your internet and all your power worldwide, all the military bases, all the ships, and all the United States. And then you're going to get double your portion in Revelations 18. That's how you're going to get bombed in Washington. And they're going to blow you off the face of the map. You're going to get double your portion. Washington and Manhattan and other areas of the United States. It's coming at you, people. And at that point, when America's gone, NATO is gone, and all the world goes into the hands of Xi Jinping, China. And you'll see at that time, coming about 2 to 3 years, 2.5 years, you're going to see China is buying all the oil, all of it. And they will be the main distributor of all the oil worldwide and decide who gets what, through BRICS. And all the world will go into BRICS. The New World Order they talked about, the Antichrist and his system. And I break down Xi Jinping and who he is and the meaning of his name and all that stuff and the mathematical equation of it. And there's your Antichrist you've been waiting for. He's not the danger. The danger is AI. AI is telling President Trump what to do. When he makes a move, AI then tells Iran what to do. AI tells Russia what to do. AI tells Xi Jinping and has been telling Xi Jinping what to do since he started BRICS, or before he started. AI is running the whole show. There is your true evil. And your biometrics and your biometric IDs, for all who take it, and you will. And the whole world will be in BRICS 2 years from now. And you'll all be controlled and all under surveillance, and all your oil and everything you have will be controlled by them. So what you're watching today is a big lie. Is there anything else we're talking about? Because I don't like to make long videos because nobody likes to listen to me anyway. And I've been at this so many years, people. Go ahead.
We just look. I said we were just looking at the map and we were looking at the numbers and we were saying how it doesn't really add up.
Doesn't add up at all. Look at the Straits of Hormuz over there. Why would you go through there to go south to get to Europe? Why would you go there to go south to get to China when you could go straight across the land? Why would you go through there, out and around, away from Africa, but then back in towards Africa once you get around that landmass of Saudi Arabia and all that, or United Arab Emirates, to get to Africa? When you could just go right through the northern part there, up by Israel, through the land from Iraq and all the other, and Saudi Arabia. Why wouldn't you just go by land north of the Red Sea into Africa to get to North Africa and Central Africa? This is all a lie, people. The Straits of Hormuz and whatever videos they're showing AI generated with hundreds or thousands of ships stuck in the Straits of Hormuz, blocking the world's oil, and everybody's in trouble. I'm going to stop on it. The map speaks for itself. Just scroll it north, Shema. It doesn't make sense the Straits of Hormuz would have anything to do with causing shortages either in China or in Europe or anywhere. This is China's day. China is making a killing. You're going to see, and you're already seeing, and you're going to see this year, no matter where you are in the United States or other countries, you're going to see a massive boost in electric cars. China's electric car industry is bigger than the entire United States auto, gas, and electric industry. China's the biggest in the world now. This is helping them. Because of the oil shortages that they claim that they're having in Europe, Europe is going more solar and more wind. They're buying it. 70 to 80% of all that material is in China. So everybody's racing to put in solar, wind, hydrogen, and other renewable resources rather than oil. I'm going to close with this. Back in the 1950s, those who remember to keep things in context, Dwight Eisenhower, the President of the United States, implemented and started having built the highway system. Now, this was a very difficult task, cutting through mountains, blowing things up, straightening out paths, clearing out woods, crossing over lakes and rivers, building bridges. That's a lot of work. In less than 3 years, under the Eisenhower administration, 90% of your highway systems were built. That's a lot of work. Now, just keep that in context. How long do you think it would take Germany, France, Spain, even the United States, if it was committed, but it's not, they're about to destroy you. But these countries who are really doing it, buying from China the electric cars like crazy. Now they're buying solar and wind and hydrogen setups to make hydrogen out of water into Europe. How long would it take to get a country to balance out what they're using in oil and get it all in renewable energy? Under a year. I tell you, under a year. They get everything they need, they put the manpower in, they start paying, they can be off of that oil in no time. And that's what they're doing, because that's the new world order of Xi Jinping in China. China right now is making, their economy is booming regardless of the lies that they're telling you. The electric car industry, there's 60% of China is electric cars. Their need of oil is dropping dramatically on a weekly and monthly basis even. Over the last 5 years, it's dropped by almost 50% need of oil. So that's what you're looking at. Everything is a lie. If you believe any of it, you believe all of it. Christ is soon to return, people. The time for all of us to take responsibility, especially in the United States. For anybody who's ever supported, from World War II, blowing people up with an atomic bomb, and then we run around telling everybody else everybody's crazy. We can't let Iran have a bomb because they're crazy. But the United States is the only ones crazy enough to ever use them. Anybody who supported the Korean War, the Vietnam War, any war that we had in the Gulf, any war we've ever had anywhere, and the murder and death of millions of people over the years. The blood is on the American taxpayer's hand. I have never seen anybody in the streets outside of the 60s for a short period, but that was all a game too, of the liars. You know, the hippie days. I was around in those days. People demonstrating against the war. But for the most part, the majority of America was always supported. And God bless your troops, is what you all say. Thank you for your service. And I don't say this lightly. I was a ranger in the military in the early 1980s. And I trained with Russian troops back then. And I started to see the lies back then. And now you're all living it today. And it's time for everybody to look at themselves and say, I'm sorry. No matter what you say, I didn't do it. Well, I'm not old enough. We all did this to ourselves. Revelations 18, you will get double the portion. Double what you did to Japan with the nuclear bomb. Double what you are doing now in Iran and other places. Double what you did in Vietnam. Hell's coming to America, people. 42 months from his inauguration in Revelations 13. You'll see he has 42 months. You'll also see it in Daniel 11. He has 42 months. He is the lawless one who does all the workings for Satan's cause, for China. Trump is working for China. He's working to bring this down. Bring you all in, and when he's gone, the whole world automatically goes. And I'm about done. You got something else, Shema, to add?
Yeah, I found a little something. It's the China-Europe freight train routes.
Okay. Thank you, Shema. This is the Silk Road of China. This is the infrastructure for land that they put in. See China over there near the bottom right? Now look where they can get to.
Here's Iran.
Okay. How is it that Iran and the Straits of Hormuz are affecting anything to do with oil? Why would you ship that oil out the Straits of Hormuz? You see them in the center near the bottom of the screen and in the middle there. And why would you go all the way down there around India and everything else to get over to the right side where China's main cities are? Doesn't make any sense. Same thing with Europe. So I'll leave it at that. It's amazing, people. And it's amazing nobody's talking about this. I've seen this right from the first day they did. I'm like, that Straits of Hormuz doesn't affect anything. Except for West Africa and South Africa, or going around. They do use it to go around to some degree to get to the islands in the Indian Ocean, Australia, and so on. But for the most part, Japan and even Thailand and all that over to the far right, up the coast of China there, the islands, it's cheaper to send it all by land to China, and then from China, just for that short span, put it in the water. So the Straits of Hormuz, whether it's Lego videos or anything else, anybody who's showing that that's doing anything is a liar. The map speaks for itself. You all set, Shema?
Mm-hmm.
Let's end this baby and put it up, and if 3 people see it, maybe 1 will get it out there and share it. See you later, people. Welcome to Rumble 3 Angels channel. We used to be formerly Feast of Tabernacles 2027 on Facebook, YouTube, and a couple other places, which we are now, I am, all banned from. All of us are. They've opened, Shamar and Dexter and others have opened accounts for me, but now algorithms, they got us down. We can't get in. Lying, cheating, stealing, faking, trying to get into these media now, they got us blocked. We can't get in. We're only on Rumble. You'll see each prophecy unfold. Watch our videos, they'll blow your mind. Not me. The prophecies themselves right in front of your eyes.
In a bizarre step to bolster the cult of Xi Jinping, the Christian minority in the Jiangxi province of southeast China have been now advised to replace the image of Jesus Christ with that of President Xi Jinping. With that logic, the Jesus Christ would not pull the poor Christians out of their poverty, but President Xi Jinping could. Also, in fact, included as a penalty for not conforming to that norm. The Jiangxi province has more than 11 million members of the Christian community who live in abject poverty. According to some surveys, members of the Christian community across the whole of China is about 19 million, which outnumbers the total membership of the Communist Party in the country. President Xi Jinping, in the promotion of his personality cult, is trying to recreate a similar practice where after the Cultural Revolution in China, people used to hang up the posters of Mao Zedong.
No wonder heaven was silent for half an hour.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
Xi Jinping, the meaning of the name Xi. What the meaning of Xi? Justice, equity, rightness, forbidding, executive, triumph of the deserving side in law, the trade war. China just has to say, we're going to stop shipping everything. We love you guys, we're all done. Up here, what does the name Xi mean in Hebrew? Indicates 6. The number is 666. It is the number of a person. This ain't even a joke, people. I just Googled these up. Father told me to, and I did. What does Jinping mean? Xi or Jinping, the last name. Reflection of the person, Satan himself, and his character. And at some point, the spirit of Satan is supposed to enter him, correct? Well, the World Wide Web, Beast Computers in Belgium, these frequencies are penetrating people, and the world king of tech over there is the boss of it. So what does the number W mean in ancient Phoenician Hebrew? It's the 6th letter in the alphabet, and its numerical value is 6. WWW, your beast computer in Belgium, your Antichrist in China. Who would have even thought this? And the meaning of his name speaks for itself. And in witchcraft and tarot, he's equity, righteousness, probability, executive, triumph of the deserving side in law. We're sorry, America, we're not going to trade with you at all. We love you. We've had enough, and the rest of the world will agree.
Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him, whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth. Even him, whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth.
In a bizarre step to bolster the cult of Xi Jinping, the Christian minority in the Jiangxi province of southeast China have been now advised to replace the image of Jesus Christ with that of President Xi Jinping. With that logic, the Jesus Christ would not pull the poor Christians out of their poverty, but President Xi Jinping could. On the back of this logic, the Christian poor in the Jiangxi province have been asked to take down the images of Jesus Christ, the crucifixes and rosary beads, and instead replace them with the posters of President Xi Jinping. What has drawn sharp criticism in this promotion of the cult of Xi Jinping is that those who do not replace the images of Jesus Christ with that of Xi Jinping will not be provided with the poverty alleviation policies of the government. Services and funding by the Chinese government also, in fact, included as a penalty for not conforming to that norm. The Jiangxi province has more than 11 million members of the Christian community who live in abject poverty. According to some surveys, members of the Christian community across the whole of China is about 19 million, which outnumbers the total membership of the Communist Party in the country. President Xi Jinping, in the promotion of his personality cult, is trying to recreate a similar practice where after the Cultural Revolution in China, people used to hang up the posters of Mao Zedong.
Hi, everybody. Let me walk you through the prophecies based on facts that we see with our eyes today, and not hypothetical and conjectural history, wondering, guessing, believing, but rather the prophecies of the Bible and facts that we see with our eyes. So let's begin. We read in Revelations a mark of the beast. This mark, many things in part. But we see that one beast gives voice to another beast so it can speak. Does your phone speak? Now, as you go through these, and you're reading these now, you'll see that you will make an image to the beast, rich and poor, great and small, all that good stuff. And look at you now. And a lot of you is watching you on your phone. Many and most, if you're comfortable and relaxed, you do hold it in your right hand. And when you swipe it at the cash register, you swipe it with your right hand. When you swipe your cards at the cash register, they're all geared for your right hand. If you swipe with the left hand, you'll find yourself with your face in a bag of potato chips on the side of the gas station cash register. So what are these two beasts? The beast that gets voice is also called the beast. It's the mainframe computer in Belgium. This several-story tall building is the mainframe for your internet computer, formed in 1975 by the international marketers. Here's the beast that gave them the voice. These are also the bankers. They're also the 7 sisters of shipping. These are the 7 heads on the beasts. The financial and government system is the body of the beast. The whore who rides the beast, wrapped in scarlet and purple. That's red and purple. The flag is red, white, and purple. Dark midnight blue. Blue skies. Color blue is not what you're seeing. The fact is, these colors match. She rides the beast, the banking and financial system, who form the governments which she rides. In Daniel, you read of 4 beasts: a lion, a bear, a dragon, a leopard body with bear's feet, lion's mouth, and eagle's wings. What's America's sign? Eagle. She sits on many waters. She's everywhere. She's the Statue of Liberty. The lion is the symbol, sign chosen by England. The bear sign is that chosen today by Russia. The dragon is chosen this day by China. Yes, they have historical significance. These things have had kingdoms in the past. All the kingdoms of the statute in Daniel's days came to pass all through his lifetime. And then from the generations after, each one of those are also the same as the beasts, animals that you have looked at. And they came at different times through the generations and had their reigns. And today, they're all here at the same time. And in that day, they shall gather in a place called Armageddon, using the false prophet, the television, and the news.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest
responsibility
is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish the publish these fake stories that simply aren't true without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 The liar George Bush, who was caught lying about why they invaded Iraq. Weapons of mass destruction. Everywhere they went. Him with the lying prophet, spit out by the dragon. His dad, George Bush Sr., was the man in China. In 1972, George Bush Sr. made the deals for all international commerce to send U.S. steel to China, Alcoa aluminum sent to China, all the major industries sent to China in 1972. George Bush made the deals. In 1973, in the midst of Watergate, covering all of this, Richard Nixon goes and visits. And then he also passes the Environmental Protection Agency Act, starting a new branch of government for those corporations who wouldn't move, would be forced to move. And China would make money and grow in power. And the profits would be great for the owners of the companies, the corporations, the stockholders, for the low labor wages. And China would then have the money coming into the 80s to buy American bonds. That is, your Grand Canyon deeds, the Redwood Forest, Yosemite National Park, all your preserved lands, lakes, monuments. These are bonds that they own. The Federal Reserve gets these. The Federal Reserve is a private bank. Rothschilds, Warburgs, Schiffs, and Drexels. They're international bankers. The mark of the beast that will break you out in sores that you held in your right hand and your forehead or your forehead. Will not be able to buy or sell without it. It has voice and it speaks. The people are in awe of it and they cling to it. And I'm left-handed in a right-handed world. And no matter how you con yourself, even now, if you're on the phone, it's in your right hand, but even your forehead. And 5G will bring the sores that break out. Now, back to the beasts, the four beasts, and the eagle's wings. So we see a lion till the wings are plucked off. Daniel watched. The wings plucked off are eagle's wings. So America connected to England. You decide what this is when they're being ripped off. America's destruction, the crash of the dollar, natural disaster that split them in three. The wings are ripped off, that's all we know. And then you have a leopard body, that's Iran's sign. The Persian leopard. And they are Persia, and they've only been called Iran since 1955. They started petitioning in 1953 to be known as Iran. Iran's oil is the big issue today. The United Nations, America, Russia, China, all the kings of the earth are gathered together now in the area of Syria. Damascus, the great city, as written in Isaiah, this day is desolate. It's no more. The people fled in 2015, remember? And they've destroyed it now. The Euphrates River is bone dry. The kings of the earth and the loosening of the 4 angels found there. The Silk Road from China crosses the Euphrates, an old trade route. So what you have is the kings of the earth today gathered in that area as peacekeeping troops, blowing everything to smithereens. Euphrates is dry. You hold it in your right hand in your forehead, your telephone. You pay, you buy online. Amazon, Angie's List, Walmart, all your stores, your fast foods, your slow foods, your gourmet foods. Revelations 18. Woe, woe, Babylon is fallen. All the world is taken of her riches and goods and greed and selfishness and just everything that just goes and the beautiful everything. This is in your hearts and minds. You hold that phone in your hand, but what's really in your forehead is the love of luscious things. Being better and being above other people. Rising above to be better is what you say. If I had more, I could give more. But deep down you lie. The mark of the beast you already have. Come out of her, my people. Do not take part in her plagues. Come out of her. Leave it all. Before it's too late. You got until the time of 5G. Then you all see the swords that's promised in Revelations. The talking is there. The image you made is there. Your clinging to it is there. Every element so far is there. The only one left is the swords that you will break out in.
My name is Daphne Tachover, and I'm the founder of an organization called We Are the Evidence. We are an organization that represents the many adults and unfortunately many children who have become very sick from wireless technology radiation. The wife of the ex-governor of Indiana was diagnosed with glioblastoma. Same brain tumor Ted Kennedy had and John McCain had. Did you look at John McCain's scar? This is a cell phone brain tumor. LeBron James, one of our sports people, had a salivary gland tumor. That is another cell phone tumor. You didn't hear about it because immediately after that was discovered, he was paid by Samsung to become their spokesperson.
And then, the final hour.